Okay, so I wanted to do an updated version of the advice I gave about using Seafoam Hydra Transtune. It did work for me in one case. I've had a handful of Volvos now, this generation with the AW 5550 SN transmission, and again, the problem is that I've done my research is that Volvo never recommended doing a transmission flush on these or changing the fluid, and said it was a lifetime fluid. Well, eventually you have these solenoid packs that control the hydraulic pressure to each clutch pack that control shifting, and in 90% of the cases it is the solenoids that are getting dirty, varnished, old sediment from the clutch packs getting in the oil is getting in the solenoids. So yes, you can swap the solenoids, but unless you're a transmission specialist, knowing how to set the solenoids have settings on manual settings on them to how much they open and close and let hydraulic fluid flow through. So I did not, knowing that, did not attempt to replace the solenoids. I ended up on this last car going to a junkyard, LKQ pick apart, finding one that had been crashed, praying that the transmission was in good condition, and pulled the solenoid, or pulled the whole valve body out. It's a tough job. You got to, the car is, at LKQ, when you go to pull the parts, the cars are all sitting on stands. So, but in order to do this job, if you have access to a junkyard and you think you can get a good valve body out and put it in, you've got to drop the subframe to make clearance to pull the valve body cover off. So, it's a bunch of 18 mil. There's probably, was it one? You loosen up the back 2 bolts that attach to the unibody. You release the front 2 bolts. There's a center bolt motor mount. Lining up the motor mount, because there is a motor mount that attaches to the subframe. You have to have an engine hanger that a lot of guys, when they're swapping trannies or whatever, use. So it's kind of a big job if you're not into mechanics. But I just wanted to give an update, that I saved another transmission by finding a used valve body and putting it on. Obviously, the solenoids were not savable on the car that I bought. So, just wanted to give that update. Again, you can do solenoids, but the solenoids have to be adjusted, and dropping the subframe, draining the valve body, dropping the subframe, just to adjust the solenoids, to put it back on, to warm it up, to go drive it again. That is a big job, and that's why the transmission guys make so much money, because each adjustment's going to take a while. Now, a lot of guys have a special pan that they put on there and drill holes in it where they can slide a screwdriver or the Allen key through and reach the solenoid through the pan, the special pan drilled out, and kind of tune the solenoid. And then when they got the car right, then they can turn around and button it up with the non-drilled out pan. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer, that I don't know if it was a marketing strategy on Volvo's part to get people to trade their cars in or what, but the idea that it was going to last forever, you know, this fluid was going to last forever. It just doesn't make sense to me, you know. It is a shame that you have a really luxury car out there that half of them are all just shifting like hell after 100,000 miles, 150,000 miles, depending on how lucky you get, you know. Alright guys, have a good one. I just wanted to give an update. But yeah, if you're first starting to experience these issues, using that Hydrotrans tune maybe to work the varnish on the solenoids and doing a flush and hoping the clean fluid will clean it out, it's a chance. So, you know, if you're having an issue and you want to save a nice car and, you know, you spend the $100 and doing a fluid change or whatever, it's worth a shot. And then the trans tune, and then just driving it, you know. There's something about doing a fluid counter reset, because the transmission has the ability to read the fluid somehow, to change the shifting when the fluid gets thinner or older. I mean, transmissions really are quite a magnificent feat of engineering. They are just like this. They literally look like a valve body. Literally looks like a little maze of oil ports. I mean, it is completely it's interesting when you tear one apart and look at it. You just go, wow, what is this? How does it work, you know? So alright guys, good luck out there, anybody who needed to see this video and what have you.